What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today I want to talk to you about bulking on a budget. I'm going to give you a couple of tips, and also I'm going to give you a couple of foods you can try so you can get those gains while on a budget. Before we start with the foods, let's start with the tips. The first one is going to be drop the supplements. Supplements, the ones that work, because there are a lot of supplements, like 99% of the supplements of the fitness industry are just bunk. So of course, drop those out of the get-go. Like, even if you have the money to buy them, do not buy them. Why would you buy something that doesn't work, doesn't contribute anything? Don't buy that. But the ones that work, drop them. Okay. They usually contribute to like 3% of the results, but they are very costly. They're very high price. Especially in my opinion. Okay, like protein powder. Contrary to what my name entails, I do not consume protein powder. I prefer other sources, just starting out of the premise that you don't need that much protein. 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. You probably have heard this multiple times. So you don't need really protein powder unless you are like following the eating every 2 hours meme or eating 6 meals a day meme, in which you have to get your 30 grams in your 6 meals. Otherwise, you're going to shrink and look like a DL for the rest of your life, unless you're following that meme. Getting your protein is actually pretty easy. Just get even one meal. If you want to do 1 meal a day, totally do it. But 2 to 3 meals is probably better. You can probably get 60 grams on each meal pretty easily, especially if you're bulking because your calorie content is higher, right? So you can even get your protein eating not so high protein foods, right? That's starting off with the protein powder. Creatine, I've never used it, but most people that have used it said, yeah, it doesn't contribute a lot, but it helps kind of. So yeah, if you're on a budget, of course, don't buy it. If you're buying pre-workout, sorry, you're a fucking idiot. Get coffee, drop the supplements. The second one is going to be analyze your other spending habits. You'll see a lot of people that say, oh, I can't eat healthy because it's too expensive. And then when it's the same that when people say that they don't have the time to work out, you usually see that they're spending their time or their money in some other stuff. Like, for example, if it's time, they'll usually spend their time on social media, watching Netflix, stuff like that. And if it is money, they usually spend it going out on the weekends, getting alcohol, which if you're drinking alcohol, sorry, I must say it again, you're a fucking idiot. Alcohol is fucking poison. So stop drinking it. It's very expensive. It shortens your lifespan. I don't know why would you like to do that. And third of all, it fucks up your hormones. So yeah, avoid alcohol as much as possible. The antioxidants excuse won't work. If you want antioxidants, spend that money on blueberries and eat a box of blueberries. You'll get 10, not even 10, like 1,000 times more antioxidants. Okay, so stop with the bullshit. Cut the alcohol, cut the junk food too, because you'll see a lot of people buying junk food on the weekends. And contrary to popular belief, junk food is pretty expensive considering the amount of food you get, just starting off from there, the nutrition of the food, and the protein content of the food. So I would say cut the junk food, cut the alcohol, and you'll have a lot of more money available. The third one is going to be conscious about shiny objects. You'll see a lot in the diet community, people hyping up foods, usually with selling you supplements intent. They'll say, oh, kale is a superfood because it has this amount of nutrients and this amount of antioxidants. Luckily for you, if you don't like kale, I have a supplement that has the exact same things. So go ahead and buy it. It is usually related to that. So usually they hype up the amount of nutrition in a certain food. So you go ahead and buy it. And if you don't like the food, they usually sell you the supplements so they can profit from that. The shiny foods, the shiny objects, right? The superfoods, the things that will boost your testosterone and burn fat and stuff like that, where you increase your metabolism. Find foods that are nutritious but are cheap and are not overhyped. The fourth one is going to be beware of the ratios, the protein to cost ratio and the protein to calories ratio. I think this is pretty important, especially if you're a Greg Doucette follower. I have noticed that in his recipes, he tends to have super high protein regarding the calories, right? Like a high protein percentage regarding the calories. But if you consider the amount of money he spent to make that recipe, putting fucking egg whites on toast, but it doesn't really matter. You see the amount of money he spent on doing that recipe. It's insane the amount of money you had to spend to replicate Doucette's recipes. Consider too the amount of money you're spending for the amount of protein. Then it counts nutrients in terms of fatty acids and micros in terms of vitamins and minerals. Again, cost and calories. Doesn't really matter if a food is super high in nutrients regarding its calories, but it's not accessible for your budget. Okay, so consider both money and calories. Prioritize protein, fats, and macros since you can get energy via carbs. Carbs are cheap as fuck, so you can get a lot of energy from that. The problem is getting the macros, the protein, and the fatty acids from the foods, which those things are usually the expensive stuff. Then the last tip is beware of the quality relative to the price. For example, you'll have a lot of milk brands. You'll have like a brand that everyone regards as high quality, another one that they regard medium quality, and another one that they regard low quality or economic quality. It's usually the same milk. That's pretty funny. It's usually produced the same way. It's the same exact milk. The only difference is the label that they put on the milk, public's perception or the consumer perception towards the product, but it's usually the same thing. Be conscious of those type of foods so you can get the most out of the least amount of money. So with that out of the way, we can start with the foods to bulk. The first one is going to be soy products. Of course, I'm going to recommend them. You can get textured vegetable protein, textured soy, protein, soybeans, natto. Natto is pretty good because it has like it's fermented soybeans. They're usually super high protein. Soybeans by themselves are like 40% protein. Defatted soy products are usually like 60 to 80% approximately, so they are comparable to a chicken breast or a chicken thigh. They have a super high micronutrient profile. I would equate it to milk. I don't know about the bioavailability of those micronutrients, but they are there. And it has calcium. It's dirt cheap, okay? You can get a shit ton of soy and it doesn't go bad. You can store it you have to store it in the bag in a dry place so it doesn't humidify and develop. It doesn't get contaminated. That's basically it. But it's super cheap, okay? You can get a lot of soy, a lot of protein by minimal amounts of money, and it's insane. When I first started eating soy, I was like, there's no way people are not eating this to get jacked. And that is because of the conception that soy will turn you into a femboy. It will turn you into a woman. It won't, okay? Alpha Destiny is a testament to that. The guy, I think he was vegan for a long while, or he eats mostly plants, and he gets most of it protein content, from soy, and he's fucking jacked. He's manly as fuck. So no, soy won't turn you into a femboy, okay? Drop that misconception. The second is going to be whole, low-fat, or non-fat milk powder, okay? I would say it's not even a comparison between liquid milk and powdered milk. I would even call powdered milk like a protein shake replacement. If you're a person that struggles to get your calories in, don't buy fucking protein powder. Use to your advantage the fact that you have to consume a high amount of calories, you have to consume high calorie density foods, and get whole powdered milk. It's super cheap because liquid milk, of course, is hard to store. You have to pasteurize it. It has to go through a lot of processes that increase the price. How they have to be stored, the volume compared to the amount of actual milk that there is in the container, it's pretty low compared to powdered milk, which is just dried up milk. It's easy to store, it doesn't go bad, it's easy to prepare. Just put the milk, put some water, and there you have it. You can put some flavorings in, or you can add it to your smoothies. It's very versatile. It's cheaper than liquid milks, eggs, and protein powder, as I said, and it has a lot of nutrients, okay? It has calcium, vitamin D, and vitamin A as their main micronutrients, but it has in general a nice micro profile. It also has quick digesting sugars, high quality protein, and again, a lot of nutrients. So it's amazing as a pre-workout, as a post-workout. So yeah, I would recommend get your powdered milk. Don't stop buying liquid milk. Get your powdered milk. That's going to be way better. And again, you can use it as a replacement to protein powder. The next one is going to be legumes, okay? So legumes are like plant foods, so of course they're packed with nutrients, fiber, and slow digesting carbs. All plant foods are usually cheap. Legumes, rice, stuff like that is super cheap. These are not only higher in protein, they are also higher in folate and in all the vitamins and all the minerals. If you're looking for a carb source, first go with legumes. If you don't like them, go with rice. Then we have peanuts. They are very calorie dense, so they are great if you're bulking. The next one is going to be liver. What's up, primals? So liver is filled with every single nutrient, okay? Every single one. We talked about superfoods. Well, this one is an actual superfood, and as you know, a lot of people don't know about it. The only reason that liver became mainstream, right, was because of our Lord and Savior Liver King with his ab implants. But it actually, like, there's a grain of truth in what Liver King says. Don't eat it raw, okay? But like cook it, learn to cook it, and you'll have a food that is like super high in protein and super high in everything, not just like a one specific protein. Although vitamin A is like the predominant protein, the predominant vitamin, sorry, and iron is like the primary micronutrient on liver. Don't overdo it, of course, because you may get vitamin toxicity. That's how high in vitamins is. And again, taste is a big issue, so learn to cook it. Now, we go to onions and garlic. NH's favorites, I would say. They have a lot of antioxidants, helps with blood flow and autoimmunity. They're versatile. You can add it to basically any dish. That's true. You can make liver and onions. That's a pretty common dish, and it's pretty good tasting, I would say. That's how I eat liver. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to eat it. They can be stored for a long while, yeah. Onions and garlic are pretty acidic, so not a lot of microorganisms are going to develop there. They're cheap. The only issue is the smell, or if you have digestive issues, but mainly the smell for most people. If you eat a lot of it, you're going to get that onion and garlic smell in your sweat and everything. So it impregnates your whole persona, your whole being, right? Your whole self. So beware of that. The sixth one is going to be cabbage. Cabbage is, in my opinion, a very underrated food. It usually gets overshadowed by its more popular alternative, which is lettuce or broccoli if you're talking about cruciferous vegetables. But cabbage is actually pretty good and fucking cheap. You can get a huge cabbage by minimal amounts of money, and it's, again, full of nutrients. You can get everything you need in plant form, of course, which is less bioavailable, but you can get basically everything you need from cabbage. It's super high in vitamin K and calcium and in fiber. You'll see a lot of people eating iceberg lettuce mainly, and it doesn't have a lot of nutrients. It's just water or fiber. Cabbage is the same thing, but it's loaded with antioxidants and with micros. Get cabbage, specifically red cabbage, which is a little bit more expensive than the red one because it's super high in antioxidants. But the white cabbage is also good. It's also better tasting. So yeah, choose your favorite cabbage and eat it as you wish. The seventh one is going to be carrots. They're super high in vitamin A, E, and K, filled with antioxidants and fiber, the same as cabbage. They are super versatile because you can use it on whatever thing you're doing. I would say it's a beginner's vegetable because most people won't be disgusted by carrots. It's a pretty accessible food. You'll see a lot of grown men that don't want to eat their vegetables, or some teenagers that don't want to eat their vegetables. So carrots are a pretty good way of starting with the process cleaning your diet. Again, it's fucking cheap. It's easy on the stomach. And then the eighth one is going to be beef shank. Basically, is the leg of the animal that is toughest. Okay, it has the bone marrow because when they cut it up, they cut the bone too. And you have the bone marrow right there, and it's full of bioavailable nutrients. Right there is fucking bone marrow. If you don't have cholesterol problems, either genetically or you yourself, like you're a deviant from your family and you have cholesterol issues, unless that's the case, consume bone marrow, always eat it because it's full of nutrients, okay? It's amazing for stews. Basically, when you are in winter, you can just put it there with a couple of carrots, with maybe some other vegetables, and you leave it there. If you have a pressure cooker, even better. And you leave it there, and when you come back, you have a nice meal to eat, and it's super tasty, okay? Super approachable, also pulgo. It's not like liver, right? It's actually really good, really tasty. Again, it's a very tough cut, so you have to prepare it in that specific way. You don't pan-sear a fucking ossobuco and eat it like that. You're going to rip your teeth out. If you take out the bone marrow, though, you get as much protein per calorie as chicken breast. So in 100 grams of pure ossobuco meat, you get the same as in a chicken breast, right? So it's pretty amazing. It's a really nice source of protein. And I would say it's even better because red meat has a lot more nutrition than chicken meat. So keep that in mind. Then we have potatoes and brown rice, an amazing carb source, both of them full of minerals. They're versatile for stews mostly. In terms of potatoes, and from brown rice, you can eat with whatever. They're easy to store and they're very easy to digest. So make of that what you will. Then as number 10, we have ricotta cheese and cottage cheese, non-fat, low fat, or whole fat. Doesn't really matter. They have the same benefits about spouted milk, except the storage one, because they have to be stored in the fridge. But outside of that, Then we have, as the last one, wild caught fish, fresh or frozen. Wild caught fish, if you buy it locally, is one of the best foods you can buy. Wild caught fish is amazing because it's super high in protein. It's full of omega-3 fatty acids, which in a bioavailable form too. Because if you eat like chia seeds, you are not really getting a lot of nutrition from a lot of omega-3s from the chia seeds because your body has to convert the platform of omega-3s to the animal version, and that conversion rate is like 2% tops. I think it's like 0.2%. I remember a while ago while I was researching, it was like super low. Okay. But the fish version is like super bioavailable. So if you need to get your, if you need to, or if you want to lower your risk of heart disease and you want to get a good omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, get wild caught fish because farmed fish actually is super high in omega-6. So I wouldn't recommend eating farmed fish. I would recommend eating just wild caught, which is usually even cheaper than farmed fish. So keep that in mind. And that's the whole thing. I hope this helps you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me throughout the whole video. And leave me your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to ask anything else, of course, as always. And yeah, see you guys.